Hi, I'm Chris Belli,
And I'm Selamawit Belli.
and this is part of our story.
So I was born in Ethiopia and I was raised in Rome, Italy when my father was transferred there for work. And then we moved to the US when I was 14 to California and then to Kentucky. So my background, my history, my culture is from where I've come from.
I'm born and raised right outside Detroit, Michigan in Clinton Township, and we had a lot of family and we were close that all lived in this area, but pretty much been a Michigan boy my whole life.
So when we met, what drew me to Chris was how close he was to his family. We moved around a lot, so it was my family unit was what I had from 5 till now. But he also made me feel very comfortable because he's an extrovert, and he laughs and jokes, and I'm an introvert and I'm quiet. So he took the pressure away from me.
Mm-hmm.
He talked all the time, and that was what sold me, I guess.
I think there's truth to opposites attract, and it was her more reserved, more quiet side that initially drew me in, and also her your worldly upbringing was very different from mine, so there very much was an opposites attract. It didn't hurt that I'm also Italian and she was raised outside of Rome, so we had some similarities there too. I think as things got more serious, about a year in, we decided it was time to meet her family, or for me to meet her family, and that's where I started to feel a bit of the pressure maybe that things would be different and what did that look like, and I had never met anybody from Ethiopia. I didn't know a lot about the culture and the upbringing, and so for me that was a little bit of a challenge. I was a little bit nervous or anxious, I guess is a better way to say it.
We all have to eat, so we all need food, but in our instance, what we eat in Ethiopia is very different than American food. So not only the fact that we eat with our hands, but the spices, the way it looks, it is very different. So that was something, even something as simple as food was an adjustment for Chris acclimating to my culture and my family.
Yeah, I remember the first time going to Kentucky to meet her family, and her mom went all out and cooked Ethiopian, and yeah, that was a little bit of a anxious moment. It does look different, and the mannerisms of how they eat together is quite a bit different too. So it was a bit of a challenge and an anxious moment for me.
So like Chris said, opposites attract. So our differences were okay. We fell in love. We wanted to get married and start a family. But in the beginning, we did have even the small community around us that didn't agree with us together, or thought that our differences were too big for the life that we wanted to create.
Yeah, there were family and friends that didn't really think that this was the best idea, and even sometimes going out in society you could tell, and sometimes it was just innocent. I might drop her off at the door somewhere and park the car and then run in after and join her at the counter, and the person at the counter would think, oh, we'll help you in a minute, or we'll serve you next, and they didn't realize we were together. So there were some challenges to our differences, and yeah, we worked through them.
But I think despite what was around us, right now the support that we get, even from our community, our family, our friends, is beyond our expectations. It's been wonderful, and I think that's proof of what love can do, and it changes people's hearts. And our children are a prime example of what can happen when you don't let differences tear you apart, but you find that in those differences there are things that are beautiful that you gravitate to. I don't know. Well,
You were doing pretty good till there. I think I think you said it well. I think over time, people got to know us, and you start to humanize who we are and who we are individually and as a couple, and it broke down those barriers, and they saw the love, and that was a two-way street, and that won. That won. It changed a lot of people's minds and a lot of people's hearts, and like you said, so much fruit came from that. But the best fruit is certainly 3 beautiful children that just make everybody who interacts with them so happy. And so if 2 people and 2 families can come together and learn from each other, and even despite our differences, respect each other, and just be on a foundation of love, it's amazing what could be accomplished. And so I kind of look at the rest of the world like I look at our home. It's just, look what happened here in one small example, and what would that look like if that could be carried forward and spread, throughout.